I don't even know where you're sitting at.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Fucking regular season's over. Playoffs are here. Lot to unpack. We got the final weekly review. We'll go over the records that were broken. Quick note, bunch of weekly records broken this year, but only one single season record broken. And then we'll jump into the playoff matchups. But let's just jump right in. No quick hits. First off, a combination of Tom successfully beating Nick, keeping his playoff spot. Also, while Alec beating me, I don't even have a chance. Congrats. Tom gets that 6th place seed. Good luck to you, buddy. But Tom beats Nick. It wasn't close. Tom beat Nick 7-2. Tom had the most threes in the league this week. Over almost 800 points, over 250 rebounds, 150 assists over. A very low block week for Tom, but little uncharacteristic, but whatever. And both teams had turnovers in the 50s. 50s, that's a low. Especially for this league. But Tom putting up 7 double-doubles to Nick's 3. Tom's MVP this week going to be Derek White. 14 threes, 86 points, 20 rebounds, 20 assists, 4 steals, and 4 blocks. Tom would have been 5-4, only would have lost to Alec, Tim, Chris, and John. Finished the season on a 2-game win streak. 6th place, record of 9-7-1. Meanwhile, Nick only would have been 2-7. Only would have beaten myself and Drew. 1-game losing streak, record of 7-5-3. Tied for 4th place, but in 5th. Nick's team falling a little bit. It's been a tough month. Last month of the year for Nick, especially not having Harden. I think he's had a tie, he's had a loss, he's had a win, maybe one other win. But not the strong push you want seeing going into the playoffs, but he's in the playoffs nonetheless. So good for you. Myself and Alec. You know, it sucks, and this is happening with every team in the league this year, but I think every single night I had at least 2 guys sit or not play, and not even COVID related, just sitting. So it sucks with this packed schedule. Obviously, I'm not harping. This is boohoo me. This has happened to everybody. It's just shitty way for the year to be going when we have this many people sitting out on this many teams. I feel like we're not getting the full effect of the season, but nonetheless, I do think the best teams, best healthiest teams, did make it into the playoffs. So I did take both percentages from Alec, and the only other thing I had was fewer turnovers. And we did tie in blocks, but I didn't have a shot the whole way through. Alec's team was playing very well, and mine was not. So Alec gets the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. I don't know if he's had number 1 seed before. I don't remember, but good job for Al sneaking into that first place spot. Alec would have been 6-2-1. Only would have lost to Tim and John and would have tied Chris. 1-game win streak for Big Al. Record of 10-4-3. Meanwhile, myself, only 7-1. I would have beaten Drew. Lost to everybody but tied Sawyer. 2-game losing streak. Record of 8-9-0. Falling out of that playoff spot into 7th. Jackson versus Drew. It's not close, but Jackson had the highest free throw. Drew had the highest free throw and lowest turnovers in the league this week. Pretty commonplace, but not even 100 or 330 points. Only 75 assists, 1 double-double. Not going to do it. Better hopes for next year for these 2 teams. Especially Jackson, who was actually trying this year. Proud of you, buddy. Your team's looking good. It sucks De'Aaron Fox isn't going to play these next 2 weeks, but I think we at least get a bye. Everyone in the constellation gets a bye week going forward, so maybe you won't be last place in the constellation. That's for damn sure. Jackson would have been 4-5 record, or would have beaten Drew, myself, Nick, and Sawyer. 1-game win streak, record of 3-13-1. Meanwhile, Drew 0-9, losing 9-game losing streak, 1-15-1. MVP for Jackson, John Morant, 577, 10 threes, 119 points, 27 rebounds, 32 assists, 7 steals, and 2 double-doubles. On to Tim and Chris. Very good matchup this week from the both of them. Percentages weren't close, and neither were threes, but they were separated by about 25 points. Only 2 rebounds separated them, 3 blocks. But Tim had the serious upper hand: 14 double doubles to Chris's 6, 3 triple doubles to none. When you have those automatic triple doubles this week, that's so huge, especially in the playoffs. Westbrook's shooting the shit out of the ball right now. Great field goal percentage. I don't think he shot this well from the field in at least 2 or 3 years, maybe longer, maybe ever. But huge reason why Tim is doing so well. Speaking of which, 9-game win streak for Tim. Would have been 8-1 this week. Only would have lost to John. Finished the season with 11-6-0 record. Fun fact: Tim and I were the only teams not to tie anybody this year. Meanwhile, Chris, tough luck. Would have been 6-2-1. Only would have lost to Tim and John. Would have tied Alec. 1-game losing streak. In 8th place, record of 6-8-3. MVP for Tim going to be Westbrook. We'll get to his stats in a little bit. Finally, on to Sawyer and John. Sawyer appropriately changed his team name to Limpin' Through, and that's goddamn right. 3-game losing streak. Sawdog, what the fuck you doing, boy? Sawyer did have the highest field goal this week, but John won 2-9, just absolutely blew it out. 250-point difference, over almost 100 rebound difference, over 60 assists more for John. John won both stock categories. Almost doubled Sawyer in turnovers, but who gives a fuck about that? Also had 14 double-doubles and a triple-double. John, 9-0. Final week of the season going in. Team's looking strong, looking healthy. Got a couple questionable guys in there, but Luka's going to play because they're fighting for that playoff seed. Embiid might sit a game or two, but that might not be the end of the world for your team because Tatum is balling out as well. Tatum's going to be your MVP. 86 points, 45 rebounds, 22 assists, 4 double-doubles, and a triple-double. Had no idea he was playing that well this week. Didn't shoot the ball great, but still playing well. Meanwhile, Sawyer would have been 2-6-1, only would have beaten Nick and Drew, and would have tied myself. 3-game losing streak. Still that first round bye, and you need it, motherfucker. 11-5-1. I guess quickly, Sawyer had the highest field goal with 583. Drew highest free throw. Tom highest threes with 95. Tim highest points with 849. John highest rebounds with 326. Tim with the most assists with 271. Most steals with 56. John had the most blocks with 39. Drew had the lowest turnovers with 38. Tim and John both had 14 double-doubles, but Tim had 3 triple-doubles. So those are your totals for the week. Players of the week, Yahoo ranks Westbrook number 1, 78 points, 47 rebounds, 49 assists, 8 steals, 4 double-doubles, 3 triple-doubles. He actually didn't, I think he was in like the 300 shooting percentage this week, so didn't shoot it great, but I would say consistently over Tim's 2-month dominance has been shooting fairly well enough. Meanwhile, Giannis, going to be a slight edge over Westbrook's. For me, 606 from the field, 115 points, 52 rebounds, 6 steals, 5 blocks, 3 double-doubles. One bright and shining spot for Sawyer's team right now. And Westbrook had the highest average. Averages this week, 19.5 points, 11.8 rebounds, 12.3 assists, averaging a double-double a game. That's what we got. Final regular season review in the books. It's been fun. This is like what I look forward to doing every Monday night. It's going to be a lot of fun in the playoffs, too, so we got some good matchups coming up. Before we get to that, though, let's go through quickly the records for the regular season, because I believe it stops counting stats like in our record book, because obviously 4 of the 10 teams aren't playing. But like I said at the very top of the video, we set a lot of weekly records. Almost all of them were set this year, but only one season-long record was set. Could be due to a multiple of things. All the sitting, obviously, COVID stuff, bullshit, but still a pretty good year. Chris tied the single-week all-time field goal percentage with 545. Kelsey's team, I believe, set that 2 years ago. Nobody did anything really that great in free throw percentage. Um, oh, maybe. No, I fucked that up. Drew had the highest single season free throw percentage of the season, 902. Good job, Drew. Let's check that real quick. No, it's 836. This record book's fucked up. This one is. Most three-pointers made, 133 by Nick. I think the previous record was Alex at 119. But Nick also had the most three-pointers made in the season this week, but he was 181 off of the regular season total set by Alec in 2018. Nick also set the weekly points record with 1,130 in 1 week. Granted, it was the 8-day week, but whatever. That is still 4,573 points off of the most in the league this week, or in the year set by Alec in 2018. Let's see. Nick also tied rebounds in that same week. Tied my record from a couple years ago with 402 rebounds in 1 week. Sawyer had the most in the league this year, but was 2,200 off of my total I set in 2018. Tim had the most assists in a week in a week this year with 334. He also has the most in the league this year, but he's 779 off of the overall total. No steals record this year. Tom set the record for most, or with 62 blocks in a single week. Still 113 off of the most ever. Turnovers, don't worry about it. I set the weekly turnover record of 131. John has the most turnovers in the league so far this year, 184 off of his total. He still owns the record for most turnovers in a season with almost 2,000. Double-doubles, no one really did anything there. Sawyer came close 1 week with 17. Records still Johns with 19. And finally, triple-doubles. Tim, the previous most triple-doubles in a week was 4. Tim set the record with 8 this year. I believe the previous record for most in the season was like 42-something, and Tim had 55. So just speaks to how fucking dominant his team has been this year. Okay, on to what people want to talk about, the playoffs. Basically what I did, and I didn't email myself to this, so we're going to have to do it without the data sheets, but I totaled up who did the best in each category throughout the whole season. Gold meaning best, gray, or what I call silver being second, and red being last. And what I did is compared the two matchups, who would have the overall season-long advantage in those categories. First up, we've got Nick and John. News came out that Harden will not be playing any more games the rest of regular season, so Nick, unfortunately, does not get to bank on Harden coming back at all. And I think news just broke 2 hours ago that John Wall is also going to be sitting the rest of the regular season. So that is not so much a hit in points and three-pointers for Olsen, but a big assist push for him. He needed those assists and going to have to be hitting the waiver wire elsewhere. But if these matchups played out like the totals did, John should win this matchup 6-5. Nick has the season-long advantage in free throw, field goal, assists, turnovers, and triple-doubles, while Olsen leads in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks in double-doubles. Now, Nick leading in threes and not having Harden, you got to think that might go Olsen's way. Olsen's team shoots the ball all right. I think in field goal percentage. Oh, John's dead last in field goal percentage this year, and he's pretty close to last in free throws. So those might be an automatic 2 categories there for Nick. Nick's also going to struggle a little bit. Mitchell and Turner both on IR. Mitchell is going to be gone at least another week, I think. Basically his team is Vooch all or nothing right now, especially with Levine out on Olsen's team. He should be feasting, but Nick's only made 4 ad drops the whole year, so if there was ever a time to start making some ad drops, Nick, tonight and this week would be your time. Meanwhile, Olsen, Embiid, and Luka both questionable. But like I said, Luka's going to play. Embiid might sit, not going to be in the world, but literally these last 2 games from Nurkic are what the whole reason you held on to him for the whole regular season. And good for you for standing by that. Anthony Edwards is also averaging 3.6 threes and 21.9 points over his last 2 weeks. That's a big boost for Olsen. He chips in some assists, rebounds as well. But anyway, I think Olsen's going to win this. Probably a little bit more of a score than 6-5. But Olsen's taking home the W this week. And then on to Tim and Tom. Tom, good for you, man. You clawed your way into that playoff spot. You make sure you held on. It just sucks that you are going to be facing my personal vote as the top team in the playoffs this year right off the bat. So you already had to burn, I don't know if you had to, but you already burned 5 ad drops on day 1. So you better, those motherfuckers better pay off or you're going to be in some trouble, boy. Same thing like the previous matchup. If we go off season-long categories, Tim is projected to win this 7-4. Tim has the advantage in free throw, 3-pointers, points, assists, steals, double-doubles, and triple-doubles. Meanwhile, Tom has the advantage in field goal, rebounds, blocks, and turnovers. Tim's team's just been shooting the ball really well from everywhere. So I don't, taking any of those percentages is going to be a win for you, Tom. If you can somehow take some threes away, you're over 200 less than Tim on this season, but maybe you can get a couple good ad drops that could pull you out one there. Basically, Tom's going to have to win steals and blocks, rebounds, try for something hard in points, and maybe get some threes. Who knows? Could upset Tim. But the problem is Tim's team is almost completely healthy. He only has, I think, Ibaka on his IR. But without a doubt, this is the top team in the playoffs. But Tom does get AD back just in time. It's a shame that SGA had to be dropped and probably won't play the rest of the year because he was such a contributor in every format for Tom. But basically, if Tom's going to win, he needs his bigs and PG-13 to absolutely ball out and carry him to the next round. Good luck to you guys. I hope these are some fun, close matchups. Wish I was in there with you, but do your best. Let's see who comes out on top, motherfuckers.